Good evening, everybody. It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ Stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. Today's Thursday. It's March 16th. Going to get started with today's video here momentarily. We'll give it another minute or so for people to join us. I'm going to go over HEXO Corp's Q2 2023 earnings. They were less than awesome, that is for sure. Big miss on estimates. Revenue was atrocious, but the trend continues. We continue to miss estimates, and they continue to right the ship. There is some positives, but this is mostly negative. But after hours, the stock is up back to $1.48 USD. So not seeing many shares traded after hours as well. We had a little bit of a sell-off into the close, but again, not on a whole lot of volume. So some strange activity going on. But make sure to smash the like before we get to it today. I would appreciate it. Tick the bell. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. You can subscribe. Share the video with anybody that might find value, and we'll get started here in about 30 seconds. Let us know where you're tuning in from as well, and we'll get started here shortly. I see we have quite a few people joining us, so welcome to the live stream. We're going to get started here in about 20 seconds. If you could smash the like, I would appreciate it. And just sit tight. We'll get started here momentarily. All right, going to get started with the video today, folks. It's Rod with Pow Group. Again, welcome back in the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ Stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. In today's video, we're going to be discussing HEXO Corp's earnings. They came out here just after hours. They were less than awesome, very, very bad, actually. They missed estimates big time, but we're going to go over that. We'll go over my thoughts and opinions. We'll look at the chart. After hours, the stock was up to 148. We had a sell-off there into the close, but a big miss in terms of revenue. EPS as well. Looks like it was in line with Yahoo, but not with investing.com. So it looks like they may not have accounted for the reverse split. So shout out to Pow Group member, you know who you are, who mentioned that. But again, before we get started, make sure to smash the like, help support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, you'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. I've been doing quite a few videos lately, and one that I mentioned was HEXO conference call confirmed for tomorrow. That's going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So just a reminder, we'll see if management can shed some light on this and sort of put some nerves at ease, because these are pretty bad earnings. Not going to lie, not going to sugarcoat it. So I see we have quite a few people joining us. So welcome. Jamlosi, I see cannot find the results. I will jump into the chat here as well. Everybody let me know your thoughts and opinions on this. If you found anything, obviously these just came out about 40 minutes ago. So I didn't have a deep dive into it yet, but we'll go over this. This is basically my first time going over it as well. We'll try to keep this video short and sweet, but if you're not sure where to go to find the results, you just go to hexocorp.com and then go underneath CDAR filing. That'll bring up CDAR, and then you'll see here they have the MD&A, Management Discussion and Analysis, and then the Interim Financial Statements Report. So you click on that. That'll bring up the consolidated financial statements, and then the MD&A will bring up this page here. So we were expecting 41.7 million Canadian in terms of revenue and negative 0.0233. And again, it looks like they may not have accounted for the reverse split, but regardless, it did come in line with Yahoo's estimates, but we missed big time. If we take a look here, you can see that their net revenue for the quarter was 24.161 million. So 24 versus estimate of 41.7. Ouch. That's a big miss. And then, like I said, negative 0.0233 was the EPS forecast on investing.com. But it did come in line with Yahoo's, and it was at negative 0.26. So like I said, I wasn't expecting positive EPS this quarter. I was thinking maybe 2 to 3 quarters from now. But we were looking at positive adjusted EBITDA as a potential after we know Aurora and Organigram posted positive adjusted EBITDA, but unfortunately, no positive adjusted EBITDA for HEXO this quarter. I'm just looking here now. EBITDA was, companies recognized an adjusted EBITDA loss of 2.412 million in Q2 2023. It was an increased loss of 1.814 million quarter over quarter. However, relative to Q2 2022, so this quarter last year, adjusted EBITDA significantly improved by 57% to 3.186 million. So like I said, we are seeing some improvement there in adjusted EBITDA, but we did not hit positive. So it came in negative. So again, positive. The EPS came in at, let me see, negative 2.4 million. And just an effort of time, I'm not going to go over this whole thing entirely, but I did jot down some notes. So the cash and cash equivalents was sitting at 34.233 million at the end of the quarter. They had write-downs of inventory to their net realized value of 7.308 million and 17.574 respectively, January 31st, 2022. Write-offs of inventory of 817,000 and 5.217 million, January 31st, 2022. And that was related to destroyed and unsellable inventory. And reversal of impairments. Not really much else to go over there. That's pretty much all I had in terms of notes so far. But again, let me know in the comments what you think of these results. Have you seen anything else that stood out there? We'll go through this fairly quickly here, but like I said, big miss in terms of revenue. The trend continues where they continue to miss on revenue estimates and we continue to decline, but we know that they've been getting rid of products that haven't been selling, focusing on products that are driving high margin and focusing on profitability. But we'll see what management comes up with tomorrow. Again, we found out that there's going to be a conference call tomorrow morning. That'll be at 10 a.m. Eastern time. If you go to hexocorp.com, click on press releases, and then click on under March, you can see here you get the number and the call-in details for tomorrow to participate in that. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to hearing from Charlie again, but this will be the first time that we hear from the new CFO, Julius. So really looking forward to hear from Julius. And then after these earnings and big miss in terms of revenue, it's going to be more imperative than ever to hear from Julius, in my opinion. So we'll see if management's and sort of, like I said, calm our nerves a little bit here, because this is atrocious. We were up to 148 USD after hours, but sitting at 141. Something I want to mention though, it's all about 132 USD. As long as that level holds, we still maintain the weekly uptrend. But I was cautious because of the fact that the S&P 500 started monthly consolidation and HEXO is yet to do so. So if we lose the weekly uptrend there at 132, that will also start monthly consolidation, and then we'll look for a monthly higher low compared to 90 cents. And then we would potentially have an attempt at a monthly trend change if bulls can form a higher low compared to 90 cents and then break above resistance there at 185, we'd be back in a monthly uptrend. But yeah, this is obviously not what anyone was expecting probably, and not what we want to hear. But unfortunately, this is the news, and don't hate the messenger. I'm just relaying the results, and just like you, I was surprised. Definitely, definitely not great, and we'll see what management can bring up in the call tomorrow. Probably going to be a lot of questions asked tomorrow, and again, they're going to be having that question and answer session after the prepared remarks. So more than likely 20 minutes after the call starts, we should see questions come in. But this probably puts to rest any kind of HEXO being acquired. Probably not going to happen. Probably won't be any announcement with that tomorrow. There was a little birdie told me that HEXO could be sold in 90 to 120 days. I'm not sure if that has any weight behind it, but essentially that was back at the end of January. So maybe at the end of next month or the month after that, if that has any truth to it, that could potentially be the case where, maybe next quarter HEXO posts positive adjusted EBITDA. Usually if a company is going to get acquired, especially a company like HEXO being one of the leaders in the space, any kind of acquiree would probably want to, acquirer would probably want to see positive adjusted EBITDA, which we came in negative 2.4 million adjusted EBITDA. So probably not going to see any kind of merger or acquisition news for HEXO. If we do, it's more than likely going to be next quarter, I would think. So probably not going to see that. And next earnings, let's just see here. It was so December, March. It wouldn't be until June. That's pretty much all I wanted to go over. Like I said, we're going to be watching 132 USD tomorrow. We're going to be watching what comes of the conference call. Really looking forward to hearing from the new CFO, Julius. We'll see what he can, prepare in terms of remarks and how well he answers questions. We'll see his demeanor, his tone, everything else on the call. That'll all be very telling. And like I said, it's all about 132 USD. As long as we hold that, we maintain the weekly uptrend. But if we lose that, we start monthly consolidation and we lose the weekly uptrend. We were seeing some signs of concern here on the weekly time frame as well. We closed last week below the 10-week moving average. We had a bear cross of the stochastic, and the MACD was very close to seeing a bear cross as well. But not looking good. Just do an update here after hours. So still sitting at 1.41, so flat where we closed. See if we can check the shares. See if we can get the amount of shares. See here, issued and outstanding share capital as of January 31st, 2023, a total of 43.33035 million common shares were issued and outstanding. Share consolidation. That's pretty much all. I want to keep this video short and sweet. Like I said, I might do a deeper dive into this tomorrow, but I'll be doing a video tomorrow as well after the conference call, and a lot of this will be covered in detail tomorrow, and we should get a lot more information. So I probably won't get another video out till tomorrow, and then I'll have some time to digest this further. Anybody viewing this now, if you can let me know in the comments, in the live chat, what your thoughts are on this. If there's anything that stood out to you in this report. I know it's only been less than an hour since we had time to review it, but let me know if you're viewing this after the live stream. Again, let me know if you see anything out of the ordinary, anything positive, negative that I haven't mentioned so far. And then, like I said, we'll be doing another update tomorrow, and more than likely another live stream, if not a video for sure, on the conference call outcome. But just going over the MD&A real quick here. So they go over their facilities. Again, not going to dive too much into that. Trusts. We know that they shut down the trust in the USA because of scaling issues and just lack of regulatory clarity, and not leading to profitability. Continues to be one of the top MJ beverage market share positions in Canada, holding #1 market share position for Q2 2023 at 34% of total sales, a 4% increase from Q1 of 2023, so last quarter. Trust obtained its own manufacturing and processing license, at which time, under a shared services arrangement, the company purchased the manufacturing goods from Trust LP and sold the beverages to third parties. On May 2nd, 2022, Trust received its independent license from Health Canada. However, the license was not operationalized until November 1st, 2022. As a result, the company has ceased the recognition of MJ-infused beverages beginning in Q2 2023. So, okay, so that's something that we need to note as well. I'm just going to jot this down. So we were going over these results in the POW Group private community as well. And I just want to write this down. So yeah, Trust having operationalized that, that obviously hurt big time on our numbers, and that was November 1st, 2022. Management continues to explore options regarding the future of its investment in Trust, which is the Molson Coors Canada Trust joint venture. HEXO USA. See here. So yeah, they dissolved the business in the U.S. Trust CBD USA has been established to provide hemp-derived CBD in food and beverage across the U.S. However, the underperformance of the business and mutual desire to explore alternative strategies in the U.S. market led to dissolution of the venture. Trust CBD USA, and it doesn't mean that it can't come back in the future. It's just not profitable right now, and the lack of regulatory clarity, just not able to scale, right? So did not contribute to the net earnings outside of the 42.5% share that they have, HEXO has in that joint venture. Obviously, Molson Coors had the majority of that. International sales Q2 2022 included 4.481 million of Zenabis revenues, which are no longer applicable to the consolidated results of HEXO as a result of the filing for CCAA, creditor protection. So that's another blow to the results. So still seeing a lot of right sizing going on here. No new demand for the company's Israeli medical MJ client has resulted in a variance of 3.75 million when compared to Q2 2022 last quarter. So last year's same quarter. The reduction of international sales and effectively nil in the 6 months ended January 31st, 2023. And we know that they're going to be partnering with Tilray for international sales. So there's some news come out that Germany got positive feedback from EU going on into legalization in Germany. And what else? There's some further news to that as well. We should see, let me just see here, Germany to introduce bill to legalize MJ in the coming weeks. So Tilray was up 11% today in response to that. But again, HEXO will be sourcing products except for USA and Canada directly from Tilray for international markets. So they'll be working together in terms of Germany. So wholesale revenue declined 367,000 from the previous quarter. Wholesale revenues declined 48% comparatively. Wholesale revenues in the 6 month ended January 31st, 2023 have increased 48% comparative to fiscal 2022 due to reason of outlined above. And that had to do with Zenabis. So we'll just go through this a little bit quicker here. Again, won't do too much of a deep dive today. Try to keep this video short and sweet. Try to keep it under 30 minutes. We'll jump into the chat here in a moment. But you can see here adjusted EBITDA negative 2.41 million. Sorry, 2.412 million. So no positive yet. So yeah, financial position. So ending cash and cash equivalents, 34.233 million. So cash used in operating activities decreased by 74% from the comparative period due to general reduction in the company's total pre-tax net loss and the realization of cost-saving initiatives and restructuring. So we continue to see SG&A and COGS, some improvements there. But again, still a lot of right sizing going on, obviously. And then, yeah, the trusts CIB, so MJ Infused Beverages. The reason why that's no longer on their report anymore, so because of the fact that trusts operationalized the MJ license. So that obviously had a big blow as well. Investing activities. All right, so wrapping this up. Let's go over the same going concern, which has to be stated there each time. And then it just goes on with some other mumbo jumbo that we're usually accustomed to seeing. Most of these MD&As are pretty much just copy and paste and then some slight changes. But yeah, lots to be desired. But we'll see like I said, what comes of the conference call tomorrow. There are some positives, but definitely way more negatives outweighing the positives. But still sitting flat here after hours at 141. And then all about the conference call tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern time. There's the call-in details there. So we'll, like I said, I'll be doing a video on that tomorrow. Sitting flat after hours. Big miss in terms of revenue. But again, that had to do with the CIB from trust not being realized on HEXO's financials anymore. And it's all about 132 USD going into tomorrow. We lose that, we lose the weekly uptrend, and then we start monthly consolidation if that is the case. If we lose 132, we lose the weekly uptrend, and we start monthly consolidation. We look for a higher low on the monthly time frame compared to 90 cents. Jumping into the chat here. Was that in Canadian dollars or USA? It's in Canadian, Chris. They report in Canadian dollars. So the estimates were in Canadian, and the results are in Canadian. We are so going to bust through 132 tomorrow, Sai. It's looking like that's definitely going to be the case. But we knew that we were still in a monthly downtrend, right? The weekly uptrend's great, but again, we've done that before. We need monthly uptrends, and then we need that across the sector, not just in HEXO, but we need it in the rest of the sector, right? In Canadian MJ, American MJ, Tilray dropped to a new all-time low and monthly lower low. It's nowhere near starting its monthly uptrend, right? So we'd have to see a monthly bounce, a higher low, and a higher high. We got at least, a few months before we could even, that's best case scenario, before Tilray would see a monthly uptrend. And then we need CGC, right, dropping to a new 52-week low. And then HEXO, the good thing about HEXO is that we're not losing the lows of the last few months. So there's some positive there. You can see this month on CGC and Tilray, we're dropping to new 52-week lows and all-time lows on Tilray. So yeah, we got several months before we could even get out of this rut that we're in monthly, and it could even be longer than that, right? It could be 6 months, maybe even longer. But we know that we're due for a monthly consolidation. We're still in a monthly downtrend, so the trend prevails. And if we do lose 132, we just look for a higher low compared to 90 cents. And then if we can get that higher low and higher high, we'll be confident that the bottom could be in at 90 cents. But again, we're not 100% confident until the rest of the sector does so as well. And then the U.S. sector ETFs, we're still several months away before being confident that a bottom is in. And nothing's guaranteed that we can't see new lows from here. But again, we'll see what management comes up with tomorrow. we're going to have to do another reverse split. Well, we won't get too ahead of ourselves, right? We'd have to stay below $1 for an extended period of time. So, won't be, let's just, focus on the now. There's no sense in getting too caught up, in my opinion, in what might happen. We'll just take it day by day. We'll prepare for all scenarios, up, down, and sideways. And it is what it is, unfortunately. But we are seeing some improvements. And the fact that the management's doing a conference call tomorrow is definitely a positive sign. But yeah, lots of negative here outweighing the positive. That's for sure. But we'll see what comes up tomorrow. Like I said, really looking forward to hearing from the new CFO, Julius. And especially after these abysmal financial results, it'd be more imperative than ever to hear from the chief executive, the CFO, chief financial officer, and the CEO. We'll see what Charlie has to say as well. Terrible results, but I'll keep averaging down. The future of HEXO is going to be amazing. Yeah, I don't think there's anything to be to worried about here long term. Again, definitely not what most were expecting, I don't think, and probably not what we want to hear, but it is what it is. And we'll see what happens of the conference call tomorrow. Again, we can find some positives in the financials, but again, I think that trust, the fact that trust is no longer operationalized, that's a big issue as well. So yeah, on May 2nd, Trust received its independent selling license from Health Canada. However, the license was not operationalized until November 1st, 2022. As a result, the company has ceased the recognition of MJ-infused beverages beginning in Q2 2023. So in this quarter, we didn't see that anymore. So that was a big blow as well. So yeah, like we were just talking in the Power Group private community 1 year ago, probably half the sales HEXO had were not profitable, and which is useless at the end of the day, right? Exactly. Big improvement in total loss. Yeah, that's something to be, that's a positive outcome as well. Big improvement on that. Yeah, and then have to dig into that 34 million loss of non-operating income loss. Yeah, exactly. Without that loss, we would have been a lot bigger. Yep. So we're just talking amongst the community. And we should see maybe some color on that into the conference call tomorrow. All right, going to continue on with the chat here. What the hell can management say? The numbers speak for themselves. Fire everyone. Yeah, well, like I said, it's if half the sales of HEXO had were unprofitable, it might just be a means to an end, right? It might be a necessary change. And like Charlie said, not all sales are good. Not all revenue is good revenue, right? If it's not providing profitability, and we know that lots of MJ companies, specifically in Canada, are struggling to achieve profitability, then maybe it was a means to an end, right? Maybe it's something that, again, these guys come from the private sector, and Charlie and Julius have been working together, I think he said, for over a decade now. So we'll see what they come out with tomorrow. And this will be the first time we had a conference call, first time we hear from Julius, so we'll see tomorrow. Probably the same that SBF said after scamming billions of dollars, we are sorry, we effed up. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if they'll say we effed up. I'll say it's more than likely a necessary means to an end is probably what they'll say. But yeah, we'll see if they can give us some color on that non-operating loss. Tilray and High Tide were up big. I don't think so, because Tilray dropped to a new all-time low. Yeah, they were up 11% today. A lot of that had to do, I think, just with the daily oversold bounce. And then SPY saw a daily uptrend as well. So low, high, higher, low, and higher, high. What do we know? When SPY's up about 2%, you can multiply that by 3 or 4 for an individual name, especially a name like Tilray in the MJ sector that's volatile. So if SPY's up 2%, multiplied by that 3 or 4, that's about 8%. And they were up around 11% today. And that is just because they were beaten down more, in my opinion. We had a new all-time low on Tilray. And then we had that news that that the EU gave positive feedback to Germany's legalization efforts, and then also that we could see Germany legalization details here in the coming weeks. So that probably gave us another few percentage upside for Tilray. So not surprising to see it up, double digits when SPY's up 2% and a daily uptrend confirmed on SPY. But Tilray still yet to confirm a daily uptrend where this moves all off the low. So we've yet to confirm a higher low and higher high. So we still haven't confirmed a daily uptrend on Tilray. We were also extremely hourly oversold. RSI was almost in the teens. So in my opinion, it's just a daily oversold bounce underway, and then the headwinds from the broader market. And then that news about Tilray or about Germany in the coming weeks for legalization. We should see that. But yeah, high tide hit my weekly bear flag target of $1. So I had this target here, weekly bear flag back here was targeting $1, and we hit 103. And then now we have a monthly bear flag on high tide. See, high, low, lower high. Anything on this monthly bounce under 311 was a monthly bear flag, and we confirmed the monthly bear flag with a loss of 130. And the monthly bear flag's targeting 72 cents, 71 cents on high tide. So it looks like we could still see more downside for high tide. It was up double digits as well. But again, we haven't even started the daily bounce. We double topped at the high of yesterday at 116. So we haven't even started the daily bounce yet, and it's actually a daily bear flag as well. So you go from this to there, from the low, from the high to the low, and then move that out. Rough estimate here to the 0.382 fib. It's targeting 83 cents on the daily bear flag. So yeah, high tide not looking good, and just a daily oversold bounce, just like the rest of the sector. But still, look at SPY. SPY's breaking the high of yesterday big time, and a daily uptrend confirmed. And high tide didn't even break the high of yesterday, and continues to drop to new 52-week lows. And like I said, there's a bear flag that was confirmed on the weekly time frame of $1 that hit basically by about a couple pennies. Now we have a daily bear flag targeting low 80s, and then a monthly bear flag targeting 71 cents. So like I said, dropping to a monthly lower low, we're many months away before confirming a monthly uptrend on high tide, CGC, Tilray. HEXO is actually the closest to confirming a monthly uptrend, because we still have all this room, right? If we start monthly consolidation at 132, we could drop another 30% and still just be looking for a higher low compared to 90 cents. So like I said, there's some positives there, but not sugarcoating it. There's definitely more negative right now with this result. But in terms of technicals, HEXO is actually not looking too bad in terms of everybody else. But, HEXO is down 99% from February 2021 highs. But then again, Tilray's not down much more than that. Tilray from February 2021 highs is now down almost 97%. CGC's down almost 97%. And high tide from February 2021 highs is down about 92%. So pick your poison. It's all pretty bad. But like I said, HEXO closest to confirming a monthly uptrend out of all of them. AYR was up 13%. Yeah, they didn't they just report earnings? Yeah, so they're up 12%. Daily uptrend confirmed. Low, high, higher, low, and higher high. So very similar to SPY chart. Look at that. Low, high, higher, low, and higher high. AYR, low, high, higher, low, and higher high. So very, very similar to the action on SPY. Just following the broader market, essentially. HEXO made operating cash flow. HEXO made operating cash flow positive. I don't think so. No, they definitely didn't hit cash flow positive. They were negative 0.26. See here, look, net loss and comprehensive loss per share, basic and diluted, negative. When it's in parentheses like that, that means negative. So 0.26, and yeah, they're a far cry off from positive EPS. Yeah, so Germany's set to. We were talking about that, and HEXO is partnered with Tilray for international. So there was this article, there was this article, and there was this article. Just give me 2 seconds here. So yeah, there was German MJ legalization efforts get a boost from positive EU feedback, says health minister. And that increases the odds that we could see the rest of the EU follow suit as well, right? And what do we know about the US? US is usually never first and never last. And it's usually the Commonwealth and, it's usually Canada and the UK and the EU that'll see legalization first, and then usually the US is after that. Look at what happened in C19 as well. A lot of the things that happened, we would see the EU, the UK, we'd see Canada next, and then the US was usually the last of those, but never the last, right? So they're never first, but they're never last, and when they decide to do something, that's when things start to really go into overdrive, right? But Germany's health minister indicates that the EU will allow legalization to proceed, and then furthermore, Germany to introduce bill to legalize MJ in the coming weeks. And that was this morning. So yeah, like I said, there's some positive things to be looking out for in these results, mostly negative. But in terms of the HEXO chart, it's not that bad. We're closer to confirming monthly uptrends on HEXO than any other name, really. And then, we'll see, sector-wide catalyst. This is great for Germany. And then HEXO and Tilray partnered for that market. I think Germany is the key for positive MJ results in the near future, of course, if they legalize. Absolutely. I think it's looking good. Look at this title here, right? And the EU gave positive feedback. So that increases the odds that the rest of the EU, like the UK and things like that, could also legalize. If they think it's positive, might we think that they could see, over the next year or two, the rest of the EU starts to legalize. And then, like I said, usually the United States is usually never first, never last. So they could be shortly or thereafter. So maybe by, 2025. In the interim results in going concern, let's take a look here. Oops. Positive operating cash flows of 5.36 million generated in the 3 months ended January 3rd. Okay. And has yet to generate positive cash flow or earnings. And then, the cash and cash equivalents of 34.233 million. So, cash outflows, positive operating cash flows of 5.36 million generated in the 3 months. And an accumulated deficit of 1.897 million, and has yet to generate positive cash flow or earnings. So no, I don't think so. But again, we'll hear from the CFO for the first time tomorrow, and we'll get some more color on that. But no, negative. It was negative 0.26. So still very much in the negative for EPS. But thanks for the comment. Again, we'll get a lot more information on that tomorrow as well. Like I said, with the CFO coming out and speaking for the first time. It says positive operating cash flows. Yeah, exactly. I just went over that. I see a slow increase in profitability. Absolutely. And then, like I said, keep in mind that the trusts, MJ infused beverages, were no longer realized on their financials, right? Starting this quarter. They missed on estimates, but still the ship seems to slowly be turning 180. Yep, I agree. Thoughts on HEXO's midterm value? Midterm value? I'm not really sure what you mean, like their book value or like midterm price forecast. I'm not really sure what you mean, but in terms of the price, 132 needs to hold. If we lose that, we start monthly consolidation. We could easily dip back down to $1 at that point while we scale to monthly higher low compared to 90 cents. And we still look at EMA 12 here on the weekly time frame. Resistance. Ever since we lost it and confirmed monthly downtrends and weekly downtrends from the highs of February 2021, that line has been a brick wall. And we haven't been able to get above it and confirm a weekly uptrend. And again, here we are rejecting from it again. So if we can get above that, weekly candle close above that, we could easily see a move up to around mid-twos, in my opinion. Because the longer the base, the higher in space, right? And this is a clear resistance level. So, midterm, I think that we could potentially go back test $1 when we scale to monthly higher low. If we lose 132, we lose the weekly uptrend. We start monthly consolidation. I think $1 is very possible. And it'll all depend on the broader market as well. If we see weakness there, that could easily bring us down to $1. And then if we maintain that and see a weekly close over that, I could think we could easily move back up to around the mid 2s. Price forecast. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's basically what I'm looking at. And then also potentially a back test and a retest of the 200-day moving average, which would be there around 235. So I think mid 2s is doable. But again, we'll want to see what happens tomorrow in the management call, the broader market, and it's all about 132. If we hold 132, I think we could easily trend back up to around that $2 mid 2s. But if we lose 132, I wouldn't expect $1 USD out of the realm of possibilities. High tide earnings tomorrow after market. Yep. Thanks for the reminder, Alicia. We'll keep an eye on that. Thanks for the update, Rod. You're welcome. No problem. My pleasure. All right, going to end it there. Thanks again, everybody, for your contributions in the live chat. If you're viewing this after the fact, if you could let me know if you've had more time. Again, we had less than an hour to review this. I'll be going over it a little bit more, and then as well, we'll hear from the conference call tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll get some more color from CFO Julius, and this will be his first time speaking. And after these financial results that are less than awesome, we'll see what sort of color he can provide and reasoning for this. But again, I think that trusts not being those CIBs not being on the revenue anymore, that hurt big time, and just right sizing, getting rid of those products that are unprofitable. I think that right sizing and turning the ship 180 is definitely near, but it could be a couple more quarters, and it'll be all about 132 USD going into tomorrow. But about 30 minutes after the market close, we will get that conference call. So don't be surprised if we do see a gap down tomorrow and leading into that conference call. But yeah, we'll see what tomorrow brings. I'll be covering that as well. But again, if you're viewing this after the fact, let me know your thoughts and comments in the comments below. If you've seen anything else that I haven't mentioned, whether it be positive or negative, always open to feedback and constructive criticism as well. So always interested to hear what other people have to say, and we'll see what comes of tomorrow's management call. But again, I'll be tuning into that call, and I'll be doing an update after that call as well. Going to end it there. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. It's Rob with Powell Group. If you could smash the like on your way out, I'd appreciate it. Share the video with anybody that might find value, and we'll talk to you again on the next video. Take care. Have a great night.